Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking a little bit more about Days Gone. For those wondering, I am going to be putting up a video, hopefully within the next week or two, giving my final thoughts on Days Gone. The reason why I haven't been able to yet is because, frankly, I just haven't had nearly as much time with the game as I was hoping to have by this point. But at the same time, I don't want to rush it. I don't want to rush through the game or feel like I have to force myself to play it in moments when it's really just not convenient for me to do so, just so I can get a video out there. I'm sure you guys, you guys have shown that you are perfectly fine waiting a little bit longer, and I'm glad because I like to take my time, and I'm definitely not going to give my final thoughts on any game until I feel like I have everything. I've done pretty much everything or almost everything there is to do, so that way I really feel like I know what I'm talking about, right? But yeah, you can look forward to that hopefully in the coming weeks. But for now, we're going to talk a little bit about apparently how Days Gone is selling really well in Japan, at least compared to God of War, which I find kind of surprising. We're not going to talk too much about this, but apparently, and I guess I'll just start with this because it's interesting. Apparently, Days Gone is a sequel or a stealth sequel, and I'm going to link an article down in the description. For anybody who's interested, I highly suggest you check it out. It's, I think, from Games Radar, and they basically compile a bunch of evidence that points to Days Gone actually being in the same world and in the same universe as Siphon Filter. And for those who don't know what Siphon Filter is, I'm not familiar with the series because I've never played it, but I have heard of it. Siphon Filter is a series that started on PS1, and it was back when this Ben studio was actually called 989 Studios, so they're not called that anymore, and they made a few games for the PS1, and then they also made a few games for the PSP, and it's basically like think of it like Mission Impossible. It's international terrorism and all this stuff, but it did deal with like bioweapons and man-made viruses and all this type of stuff. And it's really interesting because apparently there's many nods in Days Gone itself to just basically let you know like this is the same world. And so the Games Radar article goes on to speculate that this is actually the world of Siphon Filter after the main character, I forget his name, Gabe Logan, I think is his name. I could be wrong on that. I think that's his name. But basically how after he fails to actually stop a terrorist group that releases a man-made virus that creates the freaks that we see in the game, and this is basically that universe after the apocalypse hits. Very, very interesting. I'm not going to lie, even as somebody who isn't familiar with the Siphon Filter series, the fact that we could be playing in a game world that was created many, many years ago by the same team is very interesting. So I highly recommend you check that out. But let's talk about these sales for a second here. It says that Japanese PS4 owners seem to prefer the sad bikers drama of Days Gone over the sad dad dilemmas of God of War. Days Gone's performance at retail in Japan has greatly outpaced that of God of War. The post-apocalyptic zombie survival shooter shifted 114,319 copies, sorry, I said that wrong, in its first 2 days on sale, compared to just 46,091 for God of War. The figure only takes into account retail sales courtesy of the latest issue of Famitsu. Days Gone's haul is actually very similar to Horizon Zero Dawn's, which sold 116,000 copies at retail during its launch week. It's worth keeping in mind that God of War and Horizon Zero Dawn figures were provided by Media Create at the time. Though the company is fairly accurate when it comes to retail tracking, release dates also vary for all three games, but all three games came out later in their respective launch week. We still don't have an idea of how well Days Gone managed to do in the West, since we're still waiting for the NPD report. In the UK, the game easily topped the UK charts, though that market is much smaller than America's. None of these figures include digital sales, of course, which are becoming increasingly dominant. So, yeah, this is pretty interesting. It kind of shows that I guess Days Gone is doing better in some areas than compared to others, but I think overall Days Gone is certainly doing very well. As it said here, it topped the UK charts, although that did only count physical copies. We did see that I think PlayStation officially showed their top games list for April, and I think Mortal Kombat was number 1, and I think Days Gone was either number 2 or number 3. I think it was number 2. I could be wrong. I don't have it right in front of me, but I know they did release that. So we're going to have to wait to see where Days Gone actually lands on the NPD. I think it would be great if it hits number 1. If not, doesn't matter. We know it's selling well. The reason why I care about this is because I want to see this game do well, because I really like it. I am enjoying it, and I like the universe that, even though it maybe already is an established universe, as we talked about earlier, but I like what Ben's studio created here, and I like the characters, I like the world, I like the universe, and I'm hoping it does well so that way Sony can greenlight a sequel and we can see them really expand on the ideas that they have with this first game and really bring out the full potential. Because I can tell you, for as much as I'm enjoying with Days Gone, the number one thing is there's so many things here that haven't reached their full potential yet, that if they're given a second chance, a bigger budget, maybe even increase the size of the team, the development team, and give them more time, I think that they could create something truly amazing with the sequel to this game. But I'm really enjoying it so far, so I hope it sells well. I'm going to be really curious to see if Sony actually gives us official sales numbers at some point. I'm sure they will. Sony's known to do this, which is awesome because not many game companies do it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And the final thing regarding Days Gone that I want to talk to you guys about here, just let you know about, is that apparently Sony is sending out a Days Gone theme and avatar to players who've actually unlocked the Platinum Trophy, which I hope to do. I don't know how difficult it is. I haven't really looked at the trophies. While I do like sometimes going for like the Platinum or getting all the achievements on Xbox, when I first play a game, I just like to play it. I don't like to look at trophies, achievements, or anything. I just want to get the experience. I don't want to have the idea of trophies or achievements sitting in the back of my head. In my opinion, it kind of distracts me from just playing the game the way I want to play it and enjoy it. But it says here, in line with its tradition, Sony has been sending out a special theme and avatar to players who've unlocked the Platinum Trophy in Ben Studios' Days Gone. Users across social media have reported receiving 2 separate emails with each of the items, which you can preview below, courtesy of Twitter. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get these images in here. I'll see if I can, but they actually look really cool. At least that theme looks really cool. I would actually like to get that. So at the moment, it's unclear how long players have to wait before receiving the content. Reddit users have provided varying time frames, with many of them stating that they received the emails within a week of unlocking the prestigious trophy. So there you go. I don't know how many of you guys listening to this have actually platinum Days Gone, but apparently at some point you will be able to get a theme and an avatar that you can only get if you platinum the game. I think it's actually really cool that Sony decides to do this. It seems just like a good way for people who do care about this type of stuff. It seems like a good way for Sony to give out a little reward, a little extra for those who go above and beyond and get every single trophy. Again, I have no idea how difficult or how easy it is to obtain this Platinum Trophy. I hope to do it, and I definitely feel a little bit more encouraged now because I actually really like this theme. So yeah, that's pretty much going to do it, guys. I just wanted to take some more time to talk about Days Gone. You guys have really been interested in the videos that I've made talking about Days Gone. I love talking about it, so any chance I get to relay some more information or just kind of talk about it in any way, I'm going to do that. So again, look forward to my review, or I don't want to call it a review, but my final thoughts on Days Gone in the coming weeks. I really want to try to get more time with the game. I have to put aside definitely some days, hopefully, where I can just get fully immersed in it. Because one thing I can't stand, just to end this video, is like, I can't stand when I really want to play a game and I can sit down for maybe just like a half hour, 45 minutes before I get interrupted and something comes up and, you know, life gets in the way sometimes, right? And I like to, when I play games, really get into them, put a couple hours aside so I can really just focus in on what's going on, especially with a game like Days Gone, where it's very story-driven, very story-focused, narrative-heavy. I really feel like I have to pay attention to what's going on, or I'm not going to be able to enjoy it as much. So yeah, that does it for the video, guys. Be sure to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. I will be interested to see what you guys have to say. Leave the video a like if you did enjoy it. It really helps it out. You guys have been showing me tremendous amount of support, and I just want you to know it does not go unnoticed. I really do appreciate it. And feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're new and this is your first time here and you enjoy this type of content. Be sure to share the video out on top of all that. That helps tremendously as well. And hit the bell notification icon. But until next time, guys, take care.